continued provocation in the South China Sea
I'm
from
sorry?
China? How concerned are you with the continued provocation from China?
As
Regardless.
concerned as you could possibly be. It is one of the major issues that we have to face back home.
If you believe cooperation with the Vice President and President Biden will get you closer to protecting the region?
Well, cooperation with the United States certainly is just something that we are building upon that has been going on for many, many, many decades. And we just keep going.
Hello there, everyone. Have you ever wondered what's driving the recent waves in the South China Sea? Buckle up because we're about to decipher a high-stakes drama between China and the Philippines. It's a story you don't want to miss, from water cannons to territorial issues. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button because you don't want to miss out on this one. Are you ready for a geopolitical whirlwind? Let's go!
In 2012, China pushed the Philippines out of Scarborough Shoal.
The simmering tensions between China and the Philippines in the South China Sea have recently erupted. In a notable incident, the Chinese Coast Guard employed water cannons to obstruct a Philippine military supply vessel in its mission to provide vital provisions to troops stationed on a decommissioned warship grounded on a reef.
On a mission once again. Weeks after the Chinese Coast Guard used water cannon against these two wooden boats, they're back with supplies for Filipino troops, sailing towards the second Thomas Shoal in the South China Sea. Al Jazeera was one of a number of selected media outlets on board the Philippine Coast Guard vessel escorting the Navy-chartered supply boats. Before setting sail, we were warned the Chinese will almost certainly stand in our way.
We always encounter dangerous maneuvers, shadowing activities.
In recent months, the two countries have had repeated run-ins in the South China Sea, particularly near the disputed Second Thomas Shoal, which is part of the Spratly Islands. Manila reacted angrily, fiercely condemning the Chinese vessel's dangerous blocking maneuvers. China's dangerous, irresponsible, and illegal actions were in violation of Philippine sovereignty, sovereign rights, and jurisdiction. The Task Force for the West Philippine Sea stated in a statement, Beijing claims sovereignty over practically the entire South China Sea, including parts of the exclusive economic zones of Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Vietnam. In 2016, the Permanent Court of Arbitration ruled that China's claims lacked legal standing. These actions have drawn strong condemnation from the Philippines, accusing China of dangerous, irresponsible, and illegal actions that violate its sovereignty, sovereign rights, and jurisdiction. However, this is not an isolated incident. The South China Sea has long been a source of territorial disputes involving not only China and the Philippines, but also Vietnam, Malaysia, Taiwan, and Brunei.
Both sides have militarized islands in the South China Sea and are in constant conflict.
The region is rich in resources, and each country has its own rights and interests. The Philippines has engaged foreign forces to patrol the South China Sea and has been causing havoc. China's military claimed on Thursday, alluding to joint patrols this week by Philippine and U.S. soldiers. The Chinese military said it will remain vigilant, resolutely defend sovereignty and maritime rights and interests, and resolutely safeguard peace and stability in the South China Sea. Philippine officials announced Tuesday that their military and the U.S. have begun coordinated patrols in waters near Taiwan, a democratically administered island that China claims is its own, raising the risk of intensifying confrontations with China. According to the Philippine Armed Forces Chief, Romeo Bronner, a Chinese naval ship, shadowed 3 U.S. and Philippine warships conducting coordinated patrols on Thursday. Also, according to Bronner, the event happened at 10:15 a.m. near the platform of a natural gas field 27 nautical miles off the coast of Palawan province. During the coordinated patrols, the Philippines successfully achieved its objective of closely collaborating with its ally, the United States. Importantly, there were no challenges or risky maneuvers, ensuring a smooth and incident-free execution of the joint operation, as confirmed by Chief Romeo Bronner. Efforts to seek comments from the Philippine Foreign Ministry and the National Security Advisor's office went unanswered, with no immediate response from these authorities. The coverage of the incident was provided by contributors such as Ella, Cao, Bernard Orr, and Liz Lee in Beijing, as well as Neil Jerome Morales in Manila. Their contributions likely played a crucial role in assembling a comprehensive account of the events surrounding the naval encounter.
They announced that they're going to be their biggest ever. They're going to involve 17,000 troops.
The Philippines summoned Beijing's embassy in Manila to lodge a formal protest, calling the Chinese Coast Guard's actions excessive and dangerous. Beijing issued a request for the Philippine military to relocate the grounded ship in the region known as Ayungin in the Philippines and Renai in China. Despite this, Manila maintained a resolute stance, choosing not to comply with the request from Beijing. The situation reflected a diplomatic diplomatic impasse between the two nations regarding the contested maritime territory. The Philippines will never abandon our post in Ayungin Shoal, a spokesman for the Philippine National Security Council said. China in particular claims sovereignty over practically the entirety of the South China Sea, citing historical records dating back nearly 4,000 years to the Xia era. The Permanent Court of Arbitration, however, concluded in 2016 that China's claims lacked legal support, a decision that China has chosen to disregard. According to Philippine authorities, a Chinese Coast Guard ship engaged in dangerous blocking maneuvers that caused it to collide with a Philippine vessel transporting supplies to troops stationed on Ayungin Shoal, also known as Second Thomas Shoal, in the Spratly Islands chain. In a subsequent incident on Sunday, Philippine Task Force disclosed that a Chinese maritime militia vessel collided with a Philippine Coast Guard ship. Both vessels were engaged in a mission to resupply the BRP Sierra Madre. This naval transport ship had been grounded by Manila on Second Thomas Shoal in 1999, and since then, it has been occupied by Filipino troops as a strategic move to assert the Philippines' rights to the area. The collision added another layer of tension to the ongoing territorial disputes in the region. Philippines' reaction and strategies. In response to these conflicts, the Philippines has sought to rely on alliances and the rule of law. This includes increasing military cooperation with the U.S. and establishing direct communication with China in order to prevent tensions in the region from rising.
The United States also remains ironclad in our commitment to the defense of the Philippines.
In September, the Philippine Coast Guard unveiled a video capturing a Filipino diver taking action to dismantle a floating barrier installed by the Chinese in a contested section of the river. This barrier had been impeding Filipino boats from entering the area. The video release highlighted a proactive response from the Philippines in asserting its access rights amid ongoing disputes over territorial waters. It happened just days after the Philippine Coast Guard accused China's maritime militia of converting wide swaths of coral along the Palawan Island chain into a bleached and broken wasteland. China's foreign ministry denounced the charges as false and groundless. The United States has expressed support for the Philippines.
I want to be very clear. The United States defense commitment to the Philippines is ironclad. The United States defense agreement with the Philippines is ironclad.
Even offering protection if its Coast Guard comes under attack in the South China Sea. Joint patrols by Philippine and U.S. forces in the area have further intensified tensions, with China accusing the Philippines of enlisting foreign forces and stirring up trouble. As per a statement from the Philippine government, a Chinese Coast Guard ship reportedly executed dangerous blocking maneuvers, resulting in a collision with a Philippine vessel. This incident occurred while the Philippine vessel was transporting supplies to troops stationed on Ayungin Shoal, also recognized as Second Thomas Shoal, situated in the Spratly Islands chain. The collision underscores the heightened tensions and strategic disputes in the region concerning territorial claims.
What is the geopolitical significance of the Philippines? The second most populous country in Southeast Asia, the Philippines is caught up in the intensifying competition between the US and China. Its location means it plays an important role in regional security affairs such as the South China Sea Territorial Dispute, as well as the economics of changing trade routes and supply chains. The US, the Philippines' most important security partner, likely sees it as a springboard from which the containment of China can be launched. As the fifth most mineralized country in the world, the US also might be looking to the Philippines as a source of raw materials in the event of a decoupling from China.
Recent incidents in the South China Sea have escalated regional tensions, emphasizing the persistent challenges in territorial conflicts. The recent episodes in the South China Sea add to the larger framework of geopolitical disputes in the region. These incidents underscore the intricate and delicate nature of territorial claims, with various nations asserting sovereignty over specific areas. The complex geopolitical landscape involves overlapping claims, maritime boundaries, and strategic interests, creating an environment where even seemingly minor events can escalate tensions. Addressing these issues requires careful diplomatic navigation and international cooperation to find sustainable solutions and prevent further escalation in this geopolitically sensitive area. The heightened tensions underscore the need for diplomatic efforts and international cooperation to address and manage conflicts in the region. As the situation unfolds, it is critical to monitor diplomatic attempts and foreign responses. What are your thoughts on this matter? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and share this video if you find it useful. Stay informed until next time. Thank you for visiting our channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the future video. Keep an open mind.